It's like going to Yellowstone National Park and seeing a bear walking along the road and, stop, honey, stop. We got something in the cooler. That poor bear's been hibernating for 6 months. He needs something to eat. And I don't mean that literally. I don't mean that the little kids are going to rip his arm off and eat him for lunch or breakfast. But my point being, there are many things that feel good. There are many things that seem like the right thing to do. But they're not. Some illegal immigrants have been found to have contagious diseases and dangerous gang affiliations, but Beck emphasized the United States should be accessible to all those fleeing poverty and violence. Well, darn, Glenn. I almost said it. Well, hell, brother. Why don't we just shut down the whole world? Let's just invite the whole planet over here to the United States for some teddy bears and soccer balls. Are you insane? I mean, this guy's gone off the deep end. I used to love this guy. I mean, I really did. He's gone off the deep end. He's lost touch with reality. He should be a preacher. He should start his own church and be a preacher. Hopefully he doesn't turn into, hopefully he doesn't, build his own town and call it Becktown. Kind of like Jonestown. I hope he don't do that, but he really should just go start a church and become a preacher. Through no fault of their own, they're caught in political crossfire, Beck said. While we continue to put pressure on Washington and change its course of lawlessness, but we must also help. It's not either or, it's both. We have to be active in the political game and we must open our hearts. The number of illegal immigrant children on the ages of 18 who have unlawfully crossed the border has drastically increased since President Obama unilaterally enacted his temporary amnesty program for certain dreamers. Oh. Yeah, I think we should just invite the whole world here, Glenn. Why don't we do that? Let's just invite all the poor. We can't do it. Even if we wanted to, we can't do it. He's out of his mind. Which is why I stopped listening to him a long time ago. It doesn't make any sense anymore. Canceled my subscriptions. I don't listen to him anymore. It's bizarre. This whole thing is, going to blow up in our face. The president is fundamentally transforming America into a third world country. And I guess if you want to sit around and wait until it comes to your front doorstep, which by then it'll be too late to do anything about, hey, by all means, go ahead. The people of Murrieta, ask them what it's like when it hits your front doorstep. Lice, scabies, tuberculosis, God knows what all diseases. Oh yeah, and we're even finding a few prayer rugs. That's nice. That should work out well for us. But yeah, let's not secure the border. Because that's racist. That's bizarre. Even us conservatives can't get on the same page. Hey, all of us, we're a nation of immigrants. Well, what does that mean? Every country is a nation of immigrants. Every country has migrated from one place to another. Every country on the face of the earth has been taken from somebody several times over. To say, well, we're a nation of immigrants, what does that mean? So what? Every country's a nation of immigrants, you morons. As much as we'd like to help, we already are helping too much. Not that I would mind so much if we were helping good people. I'm not saying all these migrants. I'm talking about some of the foreign aid that goes to, Hamas, goes to countries who burn our flags and want to chop off our heads. That's what's got to stop. It's bizarre. What are these people doing? They're going to destroy our country. What, in the name of good? In the name of the children, we're going to destroy our entire country? Obama's asked for $3.7 billion in emergency funding. For what? For what? Washington Times story. We taxpayers are expected to house, feed, clothe, and care for almost 30,000 illegal aliens for a full year, according to the White House official request. That's a small city. Instead, we could fly them home for 1/2% of that $3.8 billion that President Obama proposes we spend. That's a savings of 99.5%. Most of his proposal is to pay living expenses at the unofficial reported cost of $250 per person per day. President Barack Obama is proposing we spend $1.8 billion to provide appropriate care for unaccompanied children. That works out to 19,726 minors for a year. The official term for them, written in the federal statute, is undocumented alien children. Not undocumented immigrants, migrants, or refugees. Those other terms are efforts at propaganda. In addition, Obama wants another $879 million for detention and removal of apprehended undocumented adults traveling with children and alternatives to detention programs for these adults. He blends removal with detention to make it possible to determine how many removals are planned. If the money is all for detention, then $250 a day per person reveals the plan is to house 9,632 adults for a year at taxpayers' expense. Combine that, 19,000 and 9,000, 19,000 minors, 9,000 adults, you have 29,000 358 people, but it gets worse. The request is for supplemental appropriation in budget lingo. That typically means it's for the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th. If these funds do not cover a full year, either the cost per person is much higher or the number of people is much higher. I forget what they said. Although Obama asked for lots of money to take care of the people permanently, he gives zero details about the time frame for deporting or repatriating any of the persons involved. $250 a day figure compares with $667 one-way cost of an airline ticket from McAllen, Texas to Guatemala City. According to both Orbitz and Priceline, the combined airfare for 29,358 passengers would be $19.6 million. That's 1/2 of 1% of President Obama's overall $3.8 billion. See, this is typical of federal government, and you want them running your health care. We can buy them a one-way ticket home. Every last one of them, we can give them a nice airplane ride home for $19 million. But Obama wants $3.8 billion. And I'm telling you, that's to take care of them. That's to hire them lawyers so, they can stay in the country forever. That's what he's doing. Don't give him a dime. I take that back. Give him $19.6 million. Now that I'll give him. Sorry, Mr. President. $3.8 billion. Wrong answer. Yeah, we'll round it up. $19.6 million. We'll round it up. We'll make it an even $20 million. Volume discounts and government rates would yield an even lower fares. But even without discounts and sending everyone home right away saves taxpayers 99.5% of that $3.8 billion. It's also closer to fly them from McAllen, Texas to Guatemala City than it is than to Murrieta, California. Only 1,297 miles compared to 1,549 miles. Oh, and no protesters. This is all a scam. It's all a game. It's all a scam. Send every last one of them home for $19 million, and the president says he needs $3.8 billion. You know, we got to hire them lawyers. We're going to have to rent them houses, feed them 3 meals a day. We're going to have to give them health care, put them in school. You know, you and I up here in Indiana, up here in the Midwest and the northern states, you know, we don't see the direct effects of this. The people of Murrieta see it.